Dear students, today I'll be telling you about the newly president elected Mr. Joe Biden. His full name is Joseph Robinette Biden Jr. He was born on 20th November 1942. His father was into the business of his second-hand cars. He did his degree in law and started practicing at a state in USA, that is Delaware. In 1972, he was given the ticket by the Democratic Party. His opponent, Republican Party, which is also known as GOP, the candidate was there since last 3 decades. And every time he was victorious. But he defeated that fellow. A young lawyer defeated the old man. And he became very popular. But suddenly, he had a tragedy in his life. There was a car accident. His wife, Nilia, and his 1-year-old daughter died in that accident. Then he left with the 2 sons, and he decided to leave the politics. Everyone asked him not to leave the politics. Carry on with that. And as he was a young, and everyone was in favor of Mr. Joe Biden. In the beginning, he was having a stammering problem, but slowly and slowly he overcome it. Lot many people requested him. And in 1974, one letter reached Mr. Joe Biden from Bombay. And regarding that letter, many times Mr. Joe Biden gave a reference. In 2013, when Mr. Joe Biden came to Bombay as a vice president of America, he referred to that letter. And the King's College London, the researchers, the scholars of that college, they made a research and they came to know that Mr. Joe Biden is having some links in India. The person who wrote a letter in 1974, his name was Christopher Biden. And researchers bring out that 5 generations back, the great grandparents of Mr. Joe Biden, they were working in the East India Company. And they came here as servants of the East India Company in India. And that fellow, Christopher Biden, he claims that he belongs to their family. And nowadays, that family is living somewhere near Chennai. If it comes true, then we are having another head of the state, newly elected Vice President, Mrs. Kamala Harris. Her ancestors were also very close to Chennai. So it means these people are overseas citizens of India. if it is come true, then it is a new, we can call it a new uh, information for the Indians, and new proud for the Indians also. On 20th January 2021, formally, Mr. Joe Biden will take an oath in the White House. But he had to face a lot of difficulties. The circumstances are such in the past that not many policies were reversed by its earlier president of America. US relations with China are the worst since the countries normalized ties 4 decades ago. America's allies in Europe are alienated. The most important nuclear anti-proliferation treaty is about to expire with Russia. Iran is collecting enriched nuclear fuel again, and North Korea is going for the atomic arsenals. These are the few challenges before Mr. Joe Biden. Another challenge is the global warming, then refugee crisis, famines in some of the poorest places of the earth. President Trump's America first mantra has unpredictably embarrassed of autocratic leaders and resistance to international cooperation. Biden also could face difficulties in dealing with governments that had hoped for Trump's re-election, particularly Israel and Saudi Arabia in the Middle East. Mr. Joe Biden's past as head of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee and Vice President in the Obama administration has given him a familiarity with international affairs that could work to his advantage. Then the first challenge is the challenge of US-China relations. The relations of China with USA, the economic superpower and geopolitically rival, that Trump has engaged in what many are calling a new Cold War. The two trade wars were there during the time of Mr. Trump. But this China have come out from that trade wars. Then there is a dispute over the trade of the South China Sea, Hong Kong, Taiwan, and technology. China is kind of a radioactive core of America's foreign policy issues. Then comes the Middle East. Now, there is a shift on Israel, Saudi, and Iran. There's a dangerous failure of Trump's Iran policy, which began from 2015. In 2015, there was P5+1 agreement by the Obama government. And as soon as Mr. Trump entered the White House, he decided to abandon that P5+1 nuclear treaty with Iran. Biden has offended to rejoin the agreement which constricts Iran's nuclear capabilities if Tehran adheres to its provisions and commits to further negotiations. Whether Iran's hierarchy will accept Biden's approach is totally unclear. Its religious leader Ayatollah Khomeini in Iran is a supreme leader, and he have many times said the USA is untrustworthy and they are not ready to accept the White House. Biden's Iran policy could alienate Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu of Israel, who is a long time ally of the USA. United Arab Emirates and Bahrain have made an agreement with the Israel, and they have totally changed the geopolitics of the Middle East. How Biden manages the relations with Saudi Arabia, which considers Iran's and staunch enemy, will also be a big challenge for Mr. Joe Biden. Then the European countries. Trump generally disagreed with the European Union and strongly encouraged Britain's exit from the bloc. Biden has expressed the opposite position. Like Obama, he supported close American relations with EU leadership and opposed the Brexit. Many Europeans will be happy to see Mr. Trump go. The damage they say has done to America's reliability will not be easily erased. Now, Russia. Biden has long time he said he would take a much harder line with Russia than Trump, who questioned NATO's usefulness. Improving America's relation with Kremlin would benefit all. Biden, who is, as vice president, pushed for sanctions against Russia over the annexation of Ukraine's Crimea Peninsula in 2014. And that is why Russia was shown the doors from the G8 countries. Tension with Russia would likely rise. Arms control is one area where Biden and Putin share a desire for progress. Biden is set to be sworn in just weeks before the scheduled expiry of the 2010 New Strategic Arms Reduction Treaty. He has said he wants to negotiate an extension for the treaty without the preconditions. These are the huge challenges before Mr. Joe Biden. Hopefully, he will overcome them. Thank you very much.